Hello everybody, this is Raghuram, Superintendent, Additional Director General Audit, Bangalore Zonal Unit. Now this particular video specifically focuses on the conduct of audit and the reporting of the auditing events. Now, whatever effort the audit team has put in right from the beginning, conducting a desk review, evaluating the internal controls, planning the audit, that is the most important thing. Planning the complete events, the sequence of steps which are going to be available or which are going to be followed upon when conducting the audit. And then planning exactly the physical verification portion when going into the audit. The most important thing here is the physical verification of the documents. Now, whatever has been done in the tour of the plant, whatever has been done while interviewing the key personnel or doing the analysis, all these things will give us only indications. Now, these indicators have to be proved by the physical verification and along with the documents which are going to support this verification need to be collected. The most important thing, as I say, is the preparation to go in for audit need to be done meticulously. So as it has been done before, the most important thing would be a desk review, a more comprehensive desk review. That is, looking into the SSC master file, doing all the analysis like trend analysis, revenue risk analysis, ratios, all these things are put together will end up in an effective audit plan. Now, all the minds, all the knowledge of the officers have gone into preparation of this particular audit plan and which needs to be executed. So whatever the work has been done need to be documented completely. This is the most important phase of our audit. Now, anyhow, all the other things like it should be completed within the time, all those things are definitely there, but everything being structured, I can say it is not inflexible. Things can always be slightly overrun, like time overrun is also permitted if at all, depends on the workload and the manpower. So we have to plan it in such a fashion that there are no major interruptions while doing this particular audit. Like the SSC may always come up with, sir, we have a statutory audit going on. We have a sales tax audit going on. These things are always common, available, interruptions with regard to the audit procedure is concerned. So giving time to all such activities, we will have to plan our audit and complete it in a reasonable time frame. Now let us slowly go into the issues of what we normally see in audit reporting. The most important thing is the verification done need to be documented perfectly. What is verification? The actually planned step which are available in the audit plan, one by one after the other, need to be verified. Now what happens here is I have to create an audit plan which is very specific to that particular unit, right? So when I say that it is specific to that particular unit, I should also think about the past litigations which are with that particular unit having entered into a complex nature. To bring out these litigations and know how the unit behaves with the audit group as well as with the adjudication teams and whatever it may be. So we will have to know the past history and have the knowledge documented in the file, right? Beyond that, we also have to collect documents evidencing the observations whatever we are having. Now, what are these observations? The result of the verification need be documented not only verbally but also through documents. So every single verification need to be documented clearly, that there should be a document supporting the verification. Now, I have planned to look in for the exemption availed by a particular SSE. Now, the invoices which are having this exemption availed, those invoices should be available with me for documentation. Not only that, the supporting documents like the vouchers in which the payments have been collected, or even I can go to the extent of collecting the bank account entries for that particular transaction. So once I do this, I am complete in verifying that particular document, that particular observation. At the same time, I have all the evidencing documents also. Number 2, while writing this particular documentation of the observation which is related to this particular verification paper, I should also write the information with regard to the contravention which they have done. If at all, if it is ending up in an observation, an audit observation, definitely there should be all the provisions which are contravened should also be mentioned. It is not only that bringing the text of that particular contravention, it should also be exactly illustrated in the audit observation how the contravention has been brought over. So when I have a document with me, I should have it more complete. I should have it as a book. It should be something like a book. When somebody reads it through, they should be in a position to understand every aspect of your verification, not only document wise but also verbally, right? So there are all simple similar steps which we have been following. So let us understand what this verification is. Verification is not a mechanical process, definitely not, because I don't do it so monotonously. I should read every document and understand what exactly has gone into that particular document. So not only that, I have an opportunity while doing the verification to go through all the records related to that particular event. So I cannot say that I have not seen a particular document, or I don't have an opportunity, or I didn't have an opportunity to look into that particular document. So such type of what I can say is escapism, or I cannot say that, but such an attitude is definitely not appreciated. So when I take a particular, it can stand against the particular officer. So take a particular transaction, have a complete or a full view of all the events which go along with the transaction and record every single thing in the verification paper. A verification can never always become an audit observation. There is always a possibility when I go into the verification papers, doing verification, I may come up with new different audit issues that can always be coming up. So I should always have an open mind to such issues. Conducting verification is the most important job, as we have been discussing. Now, documenting this verification is also very, very important, as I have been telling you. The work which we have done should result in a proper documented verification form. Now, the format is already given. It is serially numbered, and the cross-referencing of these verification papers should be along with the audit plan and the working papers which have been done. Now, all the verification and the analysis which we have done should be together or should have linkages between each other. So we have identified the issues while doing the desk review, brought out it in an audit plan and verified it in the verification paper. The physical verification will reflect in the verification paper. Now what we are going to do is, after this verification paper is fully done, we are getting into the stage where we will have to talk to the assessee, tell them that what are the issues. But before telling them the issues, the same need be discussed with the circle ACs who are in charge of this particular audit group. The involvement of the assistant commissioners, deputy commissioners, if it is a major issue, is always solicited. So once they also know about the issue, talking to the assessee, convincing them, removing unnecessary disputes is always the way we have to go forward. So when removing all these unnecessary disputes and making them honor the liability and also pay the duty with the applicable interest and penalty is always appreciated. So we will have to now further document this verification. Please check at this point all the working papers, whether it is complete enough to prepare the draft audit report. So at this particular portion, we will have to be very clear in left out working paper items, like if at all, if it is a medium scale or a small scale unit, in case of central excise audits, in case of service tax audits, the evaluation of internal control would never have been documented during the desk review portion, because these things are done when the audit is taken up. So the documentation portion of this is normally left out. So that needs to be done completely. Then the draft audit report should be prepared in the proper format and submitted to the officers. So this portion of left out documentation should be taken up by the group meticulously and completed. So once the complete report, that is the draft audit report, is prepared and given to the higher ups, now we are getting prepared for the monthly monitoring committee meeting. The decisions of the monthly monitoring committee meeting should always be reflected in the final audit report. The final audit report should always carry the decisions taken by the monthly monitoring committee. This is the most important thing, because normally, as we have seen in many cases, that the final audit report is issued without incorporating the decisions taken by the monitoring committee. So the report goes out without the monitoring committee decision conveys a wrong meaning. The decision is always final and those decisions have to be incorporated. There are many cases where we have also seen the assessee's contention, or whatever they have contended with regard to every single observation, also not being brought into the audit reports. So that is also very, very important, that you document the contentions of the assessee in the report. Finally, you have to follow all the format of the final audit report. That is number one. Number two is audit should be complete within a reasonable time. The reasonable time is a big question again. What is reasonable? It should be commensurate with the manpower and the workload of that particular audit. So that needs to be decided, and then proper permissions taken for extending the period if need be, or increasing my manpower if required. So both the things can be taken care of. That should be documented again. The most important thing is, if at all, if any audit plan point is not verified, please do document that also. Okay. So bringing out a final good audit report is always very satisfying work. So please go ahead and do a very good satisfying work for yourselves.